Greetings, my brothers and sisters. My name is Nicholas Shephard of the Shephard Family Enterprise, Business Administration, Information Systems Consultant. And what I'm here today is talking about a previous topic that I discussed, I think it was like a couple of years ago. And the subject matter is state of awareness, right? And in this dialogue, what I would like to bring to mind in this topic per se is African American women in the European workforce and how it has impacted how they relate to the new African American man business owner. Okay, there are several things I want to talk about. One of them are there are strategies that every business-minded African American man in a new business must know when approaching any European business organization in America or abroad. And there are four questions that I would like to touch on. And the first question is basically, I have everything written down. The first question is, does an African American woman support your efforts outside of your home? Okay, the second question is, does that African American woman who support your business efforts have a monogamous relationship with you that may impact her business views and decisions? The third question is, what strategies have you addressed with her to keep her in a position that will allow her to continue the efforts you have set? And the last question is, testing her understanding about actually, it's just not really a question, it's basically a rhetorical question. So testing her understanding about the African efforts and how it has impacted how African Americans do business in America. And then I'm going to have an open dialogue. Okay. Now, the first thing that I want to pay homage to is to our queens out there. Okay. Our Islamic queens, Christian queens, Buddhists, whatever. Okay. This whole conversation isn't to separate the man and the woman at all. Sometimes when I talk to people, it tends to go off as I'm a chauvinistic type person, which I'm not. I'm just setting the record straight based on my views and what I have seen over a period of, I'm 57 years of age. So I'm talking about in over 30 years of me interacting with many different cultures, because I was in the Marine Corps and I've been overseas. I've done a lot of different things and had a communication, open dialogue with Pakistanians and that were coming in, during that era. I've been in relationships with European women, not as a monogamous as I was young. I was around the 20s. And Spanish, Italians. I've been involved with a lot of women. And what it is I'm not talking about I was being some type of flirtatious thing. When I mean by relationship, I was trying to gather information from these individuals and find out why they thought that African Americans were different than any other person on earth. Okay. A lot of them did not even have an answer for that. A lot of the answers that they gave me was based on what their parents have given them or the structure of education that has been prepared and presented to them over a course of time. So since this education is structured and it's a guiding slide of lessons that keep them focused on the subject matter, which is to keep them on the top of the food chain, of course they're going to feel a certain way about any other person that's not part of this European structure, which they consider is pro-white. All right. So now this whole concept of European women who think that they are in a position, that they can influence people through their men, okay? Because you understand the European man is basically influenced by their women, okay? Which the man stands out front and dictate how things are presented to his children. all right? Because he is a man for his children, which is validated by their women, okay? And that what makes them go out and do a lot of the things that they do, okay? There are African American men that do the same thing, but the concept is different, all right? Since we do not have the resources in this country that allow us to dictate where we want to go on an economic level, it tends to push us in areas that are not viewed as appropriate business, strategies, okay? What I mean that there's a lot of things that we do that would allow us to get on top. They have structured tax laws and different laws to keep us from becoming as successful as they are. And I'm not saying that there are not African Americans that are better off, but there are not enough African American men in business leading our African American economy, okay? So since that is going on, the only thing that we can do basically is try to talk to our African American sisters, get them to understand that they are being tricked, all right? They are being misled to believe that the only resource out there for them is through their tongue or through their mouth or through the Europeans' hands, all right? Which is totally untrue, because it's my fact that Europeans went to Africa and went and did whatever they did, right? Which you can read about it. I'm not going to go ahead and try to converse it. They did whatever they did to obtain this land from them, got the resources, all right? Made them slaves in their own culture, in their own country now. They didn't take them out of it. They did that, but they didn't take them out of the country. They made them slaves in their own country. Now, where did they do that at? Huh? Where did they do that at? The only place I've read about that happening was in Europe, right? Where Europeans, white, so-called whites, okay, or European white supremacist people, enslaving their own people and making them slaves to their efforts, but depending on what tribe and what class they belong to, right? Now, did Africans do that the same thing? Yes, they did the same thing. But they were Africans enslaving Africans, okay? They weren't Africans enslaving Europeans, just like they weren't European, just like Europeans enslaving Europeans until they were introduced to the slave trade by the Spaniards, which brought in Africans, right? Tribal Africans that didn't know any better because the wealthy ones weren't enslaved. It became a problem when they started capturing princes and kings of that land, which caused Britain to take another view, because now Africa is upset because now they're violating the treaties that they have been set to saying, well, listen, you will not mess with these tribes because they are royal tribes. And the Europeans started saying, well, let's screw what they talk, we're going to grab them. And that became a problem, which caused a lot of Africans to start to unite, which they didn't want that, okay? Because once the Africans united, and at that particular time, what would wind up happening is there would have been a great war, right, that they don't want, all right? Not only would they get into a war with African tribes, but the Islamic tribes that were African would have got involved in that war. Then it would turn into a religious war, which Europeans were not being able to win, because you have to cross that ocean and cross all them straits to get to Africa. And then had to go across the desert. So modernized technology still can't master the desert, man. I'm not doing sandstorms and everything like that. These guys can creep up on you. They've been there for thousands of years, man. They creep across the desert and the sandstorm will come and attack American bases or whatever, or whoever base, they don't have to be American, and cause a lot of problems, okay? So, my thing is this, right? My thing is this. If African American men can reposition themselves in this country and get African American women to understand the fact that, you know what, if you help me, we will be better, right? If you help me in my effort, things will be better. Now, I've learned, all right, we as African American men have to stop lying to African American women, period, all right? Stop lying to them. Tell them the truth about your marital status, your relationships, so that, believe me, okay, the more truthful you are, as generations pass, the more things will be accepted, all right, as truth. If you don't lie, but these things have to take time, all right? Just like there are some men out there, right, who really feel that they should have more than one wife, right? But women don't believe that because of the women's movement, okay? They say, "Oh, you're cheating." And I have to ask this person, where do you get that word from, cheating? There's this young man trying to explain to me, well, you're cheating on your wife, you're doing this, and why your wife doing cheating. I said, man, where you keep getting this word from? All right? Where you get this word from cheating from, man? You know what I'm saying? That is a created word designed by Catholics or the Pope, right, to control population, right, in the African cultures, right? Because they have been practicing a man having more than one wife for thousands of years, all through the Bible, man. You know what I'm saying? The Catholic Church is the one that came down and said, listen, the only way we can stop these people from growing to a great nation and they, hundreds of thousands of people and make them go to wars and all that, we got to tell them, listen, one man, one wife. Let's introduce them to Catholic faith. These are the things that I want them to accept, right? But yet, okay, under the Catholic faith, I had to explain to this guy, I said, listen, man, I'm going to ask you a question, okay? If a man, okay, or a priest is a pedophile and he have coordinated or whatever, coordinate, we know how they bless bishops, you know what I'm saying? I can't really pronounce the word. But they have blessed cardinals to be priests or whatever, right? And that person that been victim, all right, of molestation of children is the person that he anoint to be priests. Are they affected by that blessing? Okay? Because you talk about a demon laying hands on someone and giving them authority, right, to do a work of a person, a demon. Now, a demon cannot bless anything that's holy. You understand? It only can curse it. And that curse go from man to man, man to man to man to man to man to man. Now, you have people still practicing the Catholic faith or whatever Christian faith thing that have been blessed and been ordained by priests, right, or bishops that were pedophiles, right, or were victims of sin, and they put their hand. Why are they doing sin? They put their hands on people who they want to bless, and they put that evil spirit in them. Now, some people say, well, just because, he do that, mean God. Now, listen, man, okay? If God wanted to turn Satan from his evil ways, he could do it just like that. He can do it just like that, man. I'm telling you, there's nothing can stop God from changing Satan's views, man. All he had to do is wipe out his sin, wipe out everything about him, and make him brand new, and that be the end of it. But he's not going to do it, man. He gave Satan a choice. Satan made a choice to do what he does, so he's living. He's tormented himself. Now, here we are as human beings, right? We are tools in this whole road. Now, it's our job as African American men to lead our families, right? To lead our families in business. Okay, now, I don't want to get too far off, right? To discussion, because what it is, it's a very big, wide range of things I want to talk about. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is, does an African American woman support your business efforts outside your home? All right, now, I was talking to this woman, right? And this African American woman. It was a test I was doing. I know. I do tests on a lot of different African American women to see where their mindset is. And basically what I do is I introduce myself to them and stuff like that. And the first thing they want to do, they want to get personal, right? They want to get personal with me. They want to find out who I am. So that, they want to find out whether I'm in a relationship with someone, this and that, you know what I'm saying? So that explains to you what type of approach they want with me. The first thing most African American women see in an African man when they approach them is sex. This man want to have sex with me. So on the what I'm going to weed out all this other stuff he's trying to talk about, and I'm going to see you get to the matter. Okay. Now, it's natural, okay, for men to have a attraction to women. Period. Okay. Now, in businessmen all throughout the centuries have always used women as a strategy to gain power in a position in societies where they cannot send a man, right? Unless the man is, go play on both sides, play both sides of the fence. But they use men to gain popularity, to get inside of these cultures so that they can get a position in these cultures or in this business so that they can obtain some type of success, right? So, I use a lot of different strategies for that. I could say I listen to people, right? I do a lot of talking, all right? And the reason why I do a lot of talking is I do a lot of thinking. And the reason why I do a lot of thinking is I do a lot of research and reading, right? You do not have to say a word to me as I finish talking. All I do is sit back and watch you after that. Just watch you like a plant that I planted to seed and watch. And some of you need to learn this strategy. This person told me, well, you're doing a lot of talking, you ain't doing a lot of listening. I said, what are you talking about? What are you talking about, man? You talk every day. Every day. You understand? And don't give God a chance to speak to you because you constantly running your mouth, So I'm the same way. I'm talking to you, but you don't want to listen. Okay, if the Spirit of God is telling me to tell you something, I'm not saying the Spirit of God is telling me to tell you anything. It's just a description, just dialogue. But if the Spirit of God is telling me to tell you something, and you're not listening because you have been influenced by the devil or some type of force or some negative dialogue or inspirations, of course you're not going to listen because everyone thinks differently. Okay, so if I am trying to talk to you and try to deliver a message to you, and I'm trying to tell you, I said, listen, okay, I have a business. Whenever I meet a woman or anyone, I've learned the first thing you should do, and just like I do, talk about your strategies, okay? What you want to do, where you see yourself in the future, and how you want to position yourself in the future where it's that you can be successful, right? Now, I know from past experience, you need a woman in your business culture to move forward as a businessman. Any business out there has it. There's no such thing as a powerful woman, a powerful man without a woman that's helping him lead his effort. It just does not exist at all. Any private organization, any secret organization, there's always a woman involved to help push that man's effort, okay? The problem that we have as African American men and African American women, African American women has been misled to think that every time an African American man approach him, it's about sex, 98% of the men that approach African American women has not, even thought about having a sexual relationship with you. The small portion that does approach you, that's thinking about sex, it depends on what environment you are in, okay? You cannot use, just like Europeans, right? Europeans say, okay, if there's only 10,000 blacks in America, right, and there's 1 million Europeans from other cultures in America, right, that's 100%. 3,000 Africans, descendants of Africans in America, that's 100%, all right? They equate the averages on both of them, and then that's how they calculate what crime rate is, right? Of course, our crime is going to be a lot greater than theirs because their percentages are higher as far as population, right? That's unfair. They need to come up with some other different strategy how they pick that out. Okay, they need to say and I'm quite sure there's analysts that already did that, you know what I'm saying, but people are already looking at the derogatory instead of the positive aspect of what's going on, all right, in America, all right? Okay, so I use these strategies, okay, to try to figure out whether or not the woman really want to engage into a business idea with me. Okay, do I like women, beautiful women? I love beautiful women. Hey, I'm not gay, you know, I love beautiful women. I love women, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm told, like, I give people credit when credit is due. There's very attractive men out there, there's very attractive women out there. You know, no matter what sex they are, what their orientation, they're attractive, you know what I'm saying? You know, God loves everybody. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm told, like, hey, that's just the way it is, you know what I'm saying? I'm a God man, a God child, you know what I'm saying? I love everybody, you know what I'm saying? I believe if this person attractive, I'm telling them, I said, listen, man, you're a very attractive guy, man. You know, you can get any woman you want. You're an attractive woman. You can get every man you want. You know what I'm saying? If you're a jerk and you're a man, you're a jerk, you're a man. You're a jerk when you're a jerk as a woman. So the thing is that you really have to have a structured mindset when you're talking to women, right? So you have to evaluate yourself and say, okay, listen, this is where I want to be in my business career, and I would like to ask you this question, all right? If I start a business, will you support my effort, right, outside of your home? Okay, of course, you're going to have a bunch of questions about that. All right, which I went over. Okay, the second question is, does that African-American woman who support your business efforts have a monogamous relationship with you that may impact her business views and decisions? Okay, now, this is a tricky question, all right, because it's necessary, okay, for a man to have a love relationship for the woman that is working with him. I'm not saying it has to be sexual, but it has to be a monogamous relationship. I'm talking like it has to be a commitment between you two. That listen, I'm not gonna fuck you over. You're not gonna screw me over. We got to be in this together at the hip. You know what I'm saying? We got to be able to go together. We got to talk to. We got to think the same way. It's like a fucking wife, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like a fucking marriage. You know, y'all got to go out there, man, and make this money. And the only way you're going to do it, y'all have to have an equal understanding of what's going on. And y'all got to have a love for each other to the point that, you know, no one going to talk about your back, about her back in front of you, or try to get you to deceive her, and vice versa for her. No one's going to talk to her and get her to deceive you as a man, all right, in the business. That's very difficult for women, because most African-American women, because number one, they in these European environments, and they think that the only security that they ever going to have is in the grace of the European culture, right? It's heartbreaking to see this in our culture, right? Because they feel that the African American man has nothing to offer them but children. That's it. We as African American men need to start building our economic base in this country and abroad, all right? We have to get out there, meet Africans that are actually mining and out there doing all these different things and handing these resources to Europeans. They take it over to their culture, they process it, and they sell it back to us at higher rates, man. We can do the same damn thing, man. We can, but you have to go out there and figure out exactly what's going on. You have to meet these Africans, man, and they're not going to trust you, man. Like, right, you know, at this particular time right now, I'm in the process of joining an African group of men, all right, and families. And it's been a long struggle, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they watch, man. I'm telling you, they watch. They are not stupid. You know what I'm saying? They watch, and they look at you and you watch. And they see how you conduct yourself and this and that. But I'm very honest with them. Right, most of them are Christians, man. You know, because you know that's what the Europeans did. They colonized them and told them, well, this is how you're supposed to be, and this and that. But with the ones that I talk to, they still believe in their culture, man. The whole fabric of their culture, how they do relationships, man. Which the people in Europe don't accept, man. They want them to accept their views. They can stay under their rule, and that's bull, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to keep following you if you're not going to supply me resources, man. You know, you're not going to help me get, you know, they don't want us to be successful. more successful than they are. You know what I'm saying? They keep sending Europeans to Africa, keep sending Europeans all over the world to colonize stuff, and then so they can trouble, they send these European forces over there to wipe out every damn body, and so these people can flourish, man. That's not even from there. That's BS, man. But that's the way they are, so we have to accept that. But on an economic level, you can actually grow. You see what I'm saying? Where they're dealing with you differently. If you control money, you control power, right? You get a group of you know what I'm saying, to have control of money. You have power. And not only that, I'm not talking about paper money. Money doesn't have all that. They come in the form of tender, right? Paper money could be knowledge, wisdom, resources. It could be a man, a woman, a child, this person, that person. I'm saying that can be viewed, right, as financial resources, right? You know, they use that against us. They use us as a resource. You know, they send us to schools, man, you know, and get us a college education. They use that material or those credentials to prove to them, hey, listen, we have the resources to provide for you over the next 25 years to make sure you get up to speed. And they push that effort to you, and then that's what happens, right? Okay. The third thing I have is, what strategies have you addressed with her to keep her in a position that will allow her to continue the efforts you have set? Okay, so the thing that I've done basically when I talk to women, right, I try to create a dialogue, and I can't stress this more. You have to have a dialogue that will allow them to sit back and observe you how you are. Okay, so you got to be upfront right away. Boom. Okay. She's not gonna like it, man, because he's a jerk and this and that. But as you start changing the minds of people that's around you by your conversations and what you do and what you say, you know, her attitude towards you will change. Either one or two things is gonna happen, right? Either she's gonna sit back, right, and watch you like you've been watching her, or she's gonna come to you and say, listen, what can I do to assist you? That's what you want, right? The European business leader or owner of the company that she works with, they have no faith in you whatsoever. They do not believe that you're going to ever obtain the success that they have. If they do, they're going to try to use political means to destroy you. You're going to say, well, his credit is messed up, he got this, all the derogatory. But you know what? That's nothing. That's irrelevant if you have favor. You understand? You can be $3 million in debt. But if you got favor, right? If you have favor, you get anything you want, man. Your credit sources and say, I ain't give you this and that. But these people who got favor in you, they still give you the damn money, man. Help you build the empire, man. They don't care, man. It doesn't matter, man. Our government is trillions of dollars in debt. You understand? And people still do business with our country, man, because they still have resources that they can provide to these countries, and money cannot pay these countries off, man. We don't have enough money, man. We don't have trillions of dollars, man, to pay these countries, man. Where we going to get that money? We'll never pay these people. A trillion, I'm talking the trillions of dollars. Look up and find out how many $1 trillion in debt in the United States is, okay? And find out how much they have to pay a month to pay that much money back. Let's say a 30-year period. Let's say a 100-year period. Okay? And we're not even talking about the interest going to be added behind that. I'm talking like, come on, man. But see, they believe they got you, you build homes, you want to do this, you want to do that, you want to have all these different things, right, to establish yourself. And this country, man, it's constantly building up stuff, man. We're in debt, so don't think that they better than you, because you're not. We are the country. The country is not us, all right? Okay, so the next thing, it says testing her understanding about the African efforts and how it has impacted how African Americans do business in America, all right? So you have to test her efforts. If she's interested in you, what you talk about, she's gonna get you to call her back, right? Be honest, be blunt, right? Talk to her, because once you plant the seed, it's not gonna go away, man. You know what I'm saying? The seed, like I said again, I said in my previous videos, it don't have to grow today. It can grow 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Okay. All right. push like on this video. If you have any questions, put comments in there. Tell me what you think. All right, I'm going to expand on this video later on, future weeks and everything like that. So I love you all. Peace.